This week on News and Notes from the Couch, we'll be discussing the question, how difficult is it to create a website myself? When you look at some websites, you start to think, this looks easy. What do I need a web designer for? But keep in mind, looks can be deceiving. Let's examine some things a good web designer knows, and now you can too. One goal of a website is to reach and communicate with potential customers. Therefore, it's important that you know what technologies your customers are employing to communicate with you. Here are 4 items to keep in mind when developing a website. 1. What web browsers are your customers using? Is it Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, or possibly Opera? By looking at my own stats for our company website, over the past year, 78% of our visitors were using Internet Explorer, 16% are on Firefox, and 4% are on Safari. As you can see, browser choices vary, but so do versions, which brings me to point 2. What version are your visitors on? Internet Explorer was the predominant browser, but 60% of our audience is using IE7, and 39% of our audience was using IE6. That's why we test on both versions. Browser versions tend to vary based on operating system, which leads me to point 3. What operating system is your customer working on? On our statistics, it shows us that 89% of our visitors are using Windows, while 9% are working on Apple. What screen resolution is the average visitor viewing your site on? The average right now on the PC is 1024 by 768, which is 39% of our visitors, while 32% of our visitors were using a higher resolution of 1280 by 1024. The point I'm making is whether you hire a web developer or you do it yourself, you have to be mindful of the fact that the web is unlike any other medium. The user has control over the technologies they choose and their settings. Being aware of this information allows you to create a website that looks similar on all operating systems, browsers, and screen resolutions. So, if you're doing it yourself, make time to test your website. And when hiring an expert, ask them what compatibility standards they follow. In case you're wondering, all the data used today was collected through our Google Analytics account, which I'll discuss in upcoming episodes. But that's this week's News and Notes. Thank you for joining me on the couch. This is Jennifer Shaheen, your e-marketing and technology therapist.